What would you say you do here?
It's the Signal Chords, home of the Underground podcast. A podcast dedicated to up-and-coming bands, labels, artists, and more. Plug in and join your host, Brad Nunnery, as he dives deep into what the future of music has to hold and discover something new along the way. What else do you have to do?
Hey, this is Jeremy from Rat Owl, and you're listening to Signal Chords, home of the Underground podcast.
Love to sit to all you details. I'm never sure of the context. Surely spotty senses. It was a mention. Simpsons counting down the hours. Fuck all to anyone moved on. We wrinkle every time. We never trust the water. We mistake every sign. Ever prone to corners. Ever prone to.
That's the latest song and music video from our friends in Rat Owl. It is called Growl. Many thanks to Jeremy for recording that promo for us. Really do appreciate it, man. Now, that song comes off their latest album, Rage Gracefully, out via Sell the Heart and Engineer Records. Dropped earlier this year. They are a really killer melodic punk band based out of Minneapolis. But if you want to find out more about the band, you can visit them on any social media platform at Rat Owl Band. All right, good stuff. What's up, everybody? My name is Brad Nunnery. Welcome to Signal Chords, home of the Underground podcast, season 2, episode 13, presented by my good friend Jeff Small over there at 1603 Designs. My guests tonight are Vince and CJ from the band Glory Days, a really killer pop punk / alternative band based out of Chicago. They have a brand new song called Hurts Like Hell. It's one of my favorite songs of the year. I'm not going to lie. I love that song. I'm going to talk to the guys all about it, how it came to be. Also, we have a Signal Chords exclusive of their new song. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You got to watch the episode, but we're going to play a little bit of the clip so you can check out for yourself. It's going to be released at the end of August, so I'll give you that little spoiler. But I'll talk to the guys about their tour that's coming up, the history of the band, and what Merlot is. Apparently, it's a drink in Chicago that's really disgusting, and the band tells me all about how it tastes. But right now, let's get into their latest music video for Hurts Like Hell, and it's on Signal Chords, home of the Underground podcast.
I spent a lot of time thinking about my past life on these long rides back and forth between our cities. Are you okay? 'Cause I'd hate to see you fall apart from something that we didn't start. I'm falling swiftly from when I was humble. I'm choking on every broken soliloquy. I'm starting to fill myself with every tumble. So hold me together as I start to crumble.
CJ, Vince, Glory Days, thank you guys so much for joining the podcast. I really do appreciate it. Now, this has been a long time coming. I've been a huge fan of your band and the work that you've been putting out over the past couple of years now. I wish you'd put out more, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But seems like the singles come every so often. We'll talk about that. But I know you guys got a new song that you're working on right now, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Chicago and what it's like to be a pop punk band in Chicago, all that good stuff. And I heard that you guys are doing a remix of the song that we just played, Hurts Like Hell. It's one of my favorite songs of yours. It's what I call a summer song. It's like the summer hit, the hit of the summer. I just love that song. We're going to talk about that here in a second. But first of all, how are you guys doing? How is Chicago? And what have you guys been up to today?
Things are good, man. Staying busy.
Yeah.
We both definitely still got the day jobs, but we got a tour coming up, so we're trying to get together as much as we can and do all the rehearsals and stuff, and then trying to hang out as much as we can outside of like band stuff too.
Yeah, and you guys are going. You guys got a little run with Pine Creek Academy here in. Is it in August or is it? It's in August, right? Because we're almost out of July, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
August 1st to the 4th.
Sweet. And where you guys headed?
Go Pennsylvania and Ohio, and then home. So Chicagoland area, but yeah.
Nice. You guys get out much either further south or further east or west? Or do you try to?
This one will be the furthest east we've done. Furthest south, I mean, we've done like Tennessee a couple times, Kentucky, but usually all of the runs that we've done like in the band career so far has been like Midwest, South, Midwest adjacent.
Yep.
Yeah, and you guys have kind of future plans of wanting to come down and maybe play Fest one year or...
Oh my God, I have been submitting us for Fest for like 3 years.
Have you?
Straight.
Yeah.
It's a rough, like, I don't know, like, I have so many bands on there, and I've always wondered, in any band that I have on, I always wonder, what's the process, and there's bands that I have interviewed that are playing Fest and some bands that aren't. I guess it's just the luck of the draw of who drops out, or I know it's like a kind of a waiting list kind of a deal. It's just, it just seems, go ahead.
You interviewed, did you do an interview with Bad Planning, or did you just feature it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Alex. Yeah, I interviewed Alex.
Alex, very good friend of ours. And when I saw that they announced that they were playing Fest, I was like just seething with both like jealousy and pride.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm so proud of you, but God damn it, I want it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I guess it would be that way to where, you're happy that your friends are playing, but at the same time, you're like, man, just let somebody drop out or just a phone call.
Or at a minimum, at least let us play with them. That would be sweet. Just like
right.
They do 15, we do 15.
Yeah, well, what you should do is you should rent a flatbed truck, like from like U-Haul, and then as like Fest is playing, you just like have somebody like a driver, like a girlfriend or something, that drive you guys around. You guys just play on the flatbed and just drive around the town. I mean, Gainesville's kind of laid back like that. You know what I mean?
That reminds me of Rock Band's opening. I think it was 1 or 2. I can't remember. Highway Star or some shit like that. Oh, I would love to do that.
Knowing us, one of us would fall off the truck. So I don't know if that's like an insurance liability or something.
It would be me. It would definitely be me.
No, I have a friend that was in a local band here. Is a local band called Pillar, and he always used to brag about he would always say he played Warped Tour, like the first or second Warped Tour. And I guess before it got really big, they used to have people on the back of a flatbed. Like the second stage was like a flatbed truck for like. He's like, yeah,
parked
we played when they were.
driving?
Yeah, no, it was parked there.
Okay.
Like the only stage that was there was like a flatbed truck, and he was telling us all about it. I mean, goddamn, like 25 years ago or whatever it was.
Yeah, it sounds pretty DIY, backwoods kind of stuff.
Yeah, I guess you have to start somewhere. I mean, Warped Tour, didn't come overnight and just be like this big huge success as it was. So maybe it was the third stage. I don't know what it was, but he always tells that story about when they played Warped Tour and he played on the back of a flatbed truck. So that's why I asked you, hey, you should probably do that. Do it old DIY style.
It's not a bad idea, honestly.
We've got so much DIY under our belts, it's insane.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's talk about it. So let's talk about the band and how you guys came together and how you guys all know each other and formed. And correct me if I'm wrong, but according to Spotify, you guys have been around since 2016 when you released the EP, The Road Where We've Traveled. Were you guys together before that, and then you just started releasing stuff around that time, or what's kind of the history of the band?
It's a colorful story. That makes it sound bad. It's a long story, really, but essentially, we all met prior. Other than like me and James kind of like passed by each other, but never really said hi. I actually thought he was an asshole when I first met him, way back when. But basically, I was in a metal band. CJ and Jared were in a metal band, and
really,
we met with whatever at some show. I think we met up. Me and CJ met up actually. The first time was that one. I think it was the Rise Records show out here in Chicago or something.
No, it was the practice before it.
Right. Practice right before it. And then we played that band disbanded. I think I went to some other band after kicking CJ out of the next band. That was a great time. Love it.
Why'd you kick him out? What did you
I was in college.
You don't want to go there? Oh, it's okay.
No, it was fine. I was, and it could be copium, but I was definitely against kicking him out. I was like, dude, he's going through school. It's a lot of work. And it was more technical stuff. So like it needed a little bit of practice to get it all down. But everybody else was like, no, we need something better. It's like, all right, you guys do it then. I'm gonna call him later. I called him later about it. Whatever.
I know. I was just about to say it was like the cutest thing because I got like we're gonna go on a bunch of tangents. I hope that's okay with you, Brad.
Oh no, that's okay. I'm full of tangents, so you're all good.
Cool. Yeah, like what Vince was saying, like all of us have like crossed paths and like been in bands with each other over the years. Like my first band when I was like 14 years old was with our drummer Jared, and then went through bands throughout that. Then I got recruited to be in a metal band that Jared was also playing in. And then Vince was filling in for bass for that band. So that's like how I met him at the practice before this big show. Gotcha. It was, I mean, at least me personally, it was like my first ever sold out show, which was really cool.
Oh, wow.
And it was the day after high school prom, which was even better.
Oh, was
it? Was? That's cute.
Yeah. But then that band kind of disbanded. And then like members of that metal band went and made this like new group that like we wrote a whole EP for and everything. And then I got kicked out because I was in college. And I remember distinctly being in the stairwell of my girlfriend's apartment in college. And like, I got the phone call being like, hey man, you're out of the band. And like, I was upset, but not like that upset just cause you know, busy.
Right. Yeah.
Doing school stuff. But then Vince calls me like right after and he's like, man, I just want to apologize. I'm so sorry. I really didn't want this to happen. I don't want you to leave. Like, can we still be friends? And I was
that's
like,
gotta be so tough though, man. Like calling and making those phone calls and saying, you know, that it's just not working out. I mean, regardless if, you know, you like them or you don't, you know, and I know that feeling, Vince, and having to call him and just saying, hey man, you know, wink, wink, I didn't want you to go anywhere kind of a deal, but I just got to be so, I don't know. That's one of the things that would drive me crazy being in a band, like whether or not it's working out or,
right.
If you don't know, you guys could be best of friends, but you guys got to get along musically as well. You know what I mean? So it's always a tricky combination. You know what I mean? But
I feel like musicians across the globe can relate to just the issue of like scheduling and stuff.
Yeah.
And like making time for music. But to kind of circle back, I think the funniest part of this question that you asked about like the origins of the band is that Vince and I were late additions.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't in the lineup when the first EP was released. We joined like February of 2017.
Oh, okay.
And how that kind of came to be is like, I swear it was very shortly after I was kicked out of the project with Vince and the other old band members. Jared, our drummer, messaged me after like we hadn't talked in like a couple years, and he was like, hey man, you're going to school for graphic design. Do you want to help us like make this EP cover? So I worked with them on the EP cover for the first EP, and then they were like, hey, also, we have this show coming up and we're parting ways with our bassist. Do you want to fill in on bass? And I was like, I'm not a bass guitar player. I'm a guitarist, but I'll figure it out. So I filled in for a show. Then I was like, it's not really for me. They had another fill in. Then they asked me to fill in again. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. And then they're like, hey, do you want to just join the band? And I'm like, yeah, totally down. Like, I miss playing music. And then at that same time, they were kicking out their former guitar player. And I was like, hey, I play guitar a hell of a lot better than I play bass. Sure. And I know a bassist
Vince.
Who sings.
Yeah.
Which, funny enough, Jared just hears my name. He's like, oh, yeah, that asshole. I'm in.
But that's a weird transition. Like if you guys were both in metal bands, and then Glory Days had the whole pop punk thing going, was an easy transition to kind of go into. Were you fans of because I know some metalheads are the purists, going over and making that leap over from metal to pop punk is kind of a big leap. In that that tight knit community. Was it something that was easy for you to do? Is it something that you wanted to do? Explain a little bit about that.
For me at least. I still write metal music and stuff like that. I have got way too many side projects, but I don't find any issues with it. I mean, a lot of at least in our scene that I've noticed, a lot of the people who like metal also like pop punk. We just kind of mesh together. I mean, a lot of any heavier influences that you usually hear, I mean, I'm usually pushing a little bit, and then the other guys, I mean, they all have some form of enjoyment with metal too. So it's not super hard to convince them, but usually I just try to throw something in there that has a little extra, I hate saying it this way, but like a little edge.
I think that's completely accurate.
Like
Jared and I's first band, that was a pop punk band. Then I played in like alti metal screamo bands, like the 2010s like Warped Tour scene bands with like synchronized breakdowns and stuff with all the choreography.
The good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I miss it. But I mean, I grew up on being introduced to like early 2000s and 90s bands like your Newfound Glory, your Yellowcard. Like I'm a diehard Green Day fan. But then like when I got older, I started getting into more of like one of the introduction bands was like Avenged Sevenfold and Bullet for My Valentine, and then like the styles just kind of started to mix.
Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, I was out of metal for a while. I was hardcore into metal for many years, and I got out of it for a little bit, and then Bullet for My Valentine, that EP before the Poison came out, the EP with 4 words to choke upon. I was like, holy crap, this is like the most amazing shit I've ever heard in my life. And I'm like, all right, I gotta know more about that. So I went back into metal and discovered, 36 Crazy Fists at that time, From Autumn to Ashes, all those bands, Kill Switch Engage and all those kind of stuff. And I'm like, I was hooked again. So it was great. And Demon Hunter, I mean, I've got, the list goes on and it goes on and on and on. So I still have that love for it. I just don't seek it out as much anymore. But it's one of those things where it just got me back into it. And I always love that, when pop punk bands, like, bands like A Day to Remember has that hardcore breakdown, but still pop punk as hell. It's like Newfound Glory meets freaking, I couldn't even tell you, but like Atreyu. It's just, it's amazing, that kind of stuff. And when you can add that, little elements, subtle elements, it's always great,
Absolutely.
Stuff.
Yeah, I think it goes without saying that like Vince has been very vital in not pigeonholing ourselves into like a specific like style of music. Like we write the music that like we would like to listen to.
Sure.
Stop. Keep going, but stop.
Now, speaking of which, so when you guys, when as far as the writing process and all that kind of stuff, do you guys get together and just like jam out on stuff, or do you guys send files to each other? How does writing a song kind of work with you guys?
It's kind of all over the place. I mean, usually it's somebody comes up with a riff or two, like CJ comes up with something, and then we'll go over to whoever's place. Usually CJ's, 'cause all the stuff set up, and just kind of demo stuff out. It's like, oh, that's cool. What if it's like this? How about we add this part next? Or a lot of times I'll have a melody in my head as soon as I hear something he writes or James writes or Jared just goes, and then we get some kind
drummer
of
noises.
Exactly. But
yeah,
it's usually everybody kind of working together. And then once we have like a full song where we feel is a full song, we kind of just listen to it and take a step back and try to be like, okay, but what if we like turned it like this way and flipped that backwards? What if we put that bridge where that verse should be, and just kind of piece it together, change stuff to make it sound like either something we'd like to listen to or something that just sounds cool to us, really.
Yeah, there's definitely been scenarios where like we have written a song start to finish just like jamming as the four of us.
Yep.
But then it can also be on the complete flip side where I'll have like Vince come over or James come over and we'll just like have a couple drinks and just like play instruments.
Yeah.
And see what we come up with, and then we'll like send it to the rest of the guys and be like, hey, we thought of this, and then we'll all kind of like just start mulling over the ideas, and then we'll bring it to practice and then develop it from there.
Yeah, that's a really good way to work. So you guys saying that you have people, you know, have everybody come over, so you guys live relatively close to each other, and it's like easy that way to do it, because I know some bands are in different towns and, you know, they've got their jobs too, and they have to commit to one day a month and all that kind of stuff. So is it pretty easy as far as, you know, coming over? Not if it's everybody in the same, you know, in the same room, but like you said, you have a couple guys come over or one person come over and hash out ideas.
Yeah, I mean, at least now we all live within like 20 minutes of each other.
Hell, nice. I'm the one who's farthest away. I'm the 20-minute guy. Everybody else is like 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what part of Chicago are you guys from?
Like the northwest suburbs.
Okay.
It's like if you were to go on a map, we're like, I don't know, 30 minutes to 45 minutes away from like the border of Wisconsin. So like collectively we are like smack dab in the middle between Milwaukee and Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah. The reason why I ask is I've been to Chicago a numerous amount of times. I love Chicago. I always call it the clean New York, at least the city.
I've heard that so many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's always so cool. And I was in the Navy and I went to boot camp in Great Lakes, and they call it Great Mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
So we used to always take the when I was in school, we used to always take the train from our schooling. Our after I graduated boot camp, I stayed there for an additional couple months and went to schooling, and we'd take the train down to Chicago every weekend. Just had a blast and a lot of really killer stuff down there, and love Chicago. So that's cool that you guys are all together and close, and it works out that way. And I know you guys got busy schedules, you got day jobs and trying to find time. How do you guys manage your time as far as, you know, your careers right now and time? Is it on the weekends? Is that night? You know, how do you guys make that work?
It varies. I mean, my job is very whenever the job's done. It's not really okay, you work from this time to this time and then you're done. It's like, okay, there's a big job today, I have to work 16 hours or I have to work 12 hours, whatever. Usually we try to have like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like just kind of fit them in there. But a lot of times it's like, hey, we're going to practice today. Hell yeah, we got this. And then I'm just like, hey, guys, so I'm going to be out till like at least 8:30. I'm not making it. But
yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough to make it work, especially when you have a job like that. You don't, you know, we were talking before, and CJ has his office job, and he probably works to 6 o'clock, maybe at the latest. You know, I don't know, but I mean I have basically the same thing CJ has. I have like that cushy 8 to 5, 9 to 6 job, and you know I don't take my work home with me. But I've been in your position before too, Vince, and not knowing when you're coming home and all that kind of stuff, or what kind of job you have. Because I was in the beer business. And selling beer, you know, during the holidays and all that kind of stuff, and pulling, you know, 18-hour days and unloading trucks and all that kind of stuff. So I know I get that and I relate to that a lot. But it's great that you guys can, you know, kind of work it out and figure out and do your thing. So I guess I want to get into let's get into your song "Hurts Like Hell." I know we talked about it a little bit in the intro. You guys are doing a remix. If you could elaborate what the remix is, and when can we expect it and all that good stuff.
So we how do I put this?
I don't know. How do you put it?
We've if you can look at our track record, we've obviously never been like the most consistent band when it comes to like releasing music, and this 2024 was the year where we decided, like, all right, we have so many things backlogged that we're going to make a consistent release schedule with enough room for like each song to have its life and breathe in between releases, and then also in between releases do some kind of like surprise and delight kind of things. So for Hurts Like Hell specifically, we thought like, okay, we're going to do something we've never done. We partnered up with a producer that's just doing like, I mean, I don't want to call it simple, but like a reimagined, like stripped down kind of like a lo-fi hip hop remix just to kind of breathe another new life into it. Because I mean, me personally, I love listening to that like lo-fi hip hop stuff when I'm working or cleaning around the house or something. Yeah. And then we've got plans for like singles coming forward. Like we're going to do like acoustic versions, maybe like a dancey version, maybe like do a little behind the scenes stuff. So it's just kind of part of that like surprise and delight marketing plan behind our release schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. And you know, I always like that. I always like it when bands do, you know, either a stripped down acoustic version of, you know, like a big hit of theirs or whatnot, and a reimagined. You know, I remember back in the day, Faith No More had like this album that was like a DJ version of like a whole bunch of their songs, and I was like, man, that's trippy, you know. And Fear Factory used to do it too. Mm-hmm. They would just do these remixes that were just, you know, just off the hook, and I love that stuff when they reimagine it. So that's really cool. And when you guys are going to do that in August as well?
Yeah, so I think that one is slated to come out August 2nd.
Sweet.
So first week in August, kind of releasing it like while we're on the road, so it gives us something to talk about. Yeah,
no, absolutely. And let's talk about the song itself and how did that come together? Because like I said, it's one of my favorite songs, and I know you guys have a lyric video that we played at the beginning of the podcast, but let's you know, if you could talk about it, like, you know, musically and lyrically, kind of where you guys' headspace was at the time you guys were recording that song.
Yep, funny enough, actually, that's a big James song. He came up with like the main riff and a lot of the song, to be honest. And a lot of the lyrics, it's just a tough time in life, just going through a lot of crap, just trying to make his way through. I ended up adding, I don't know, like that end bridge spot where it has that overlay. This part that I'm singing is basically what I wrote, and then everything else I'm like, yep, James, that's you, baby. Good shit.
Yeah.
we were working on that one at my house, just like demoing it out, and like we were talking about it, shooting the shit, and it basically it came down to kind of a song about perseverance, about like losing like a possible love interest, or like kind of like a one that got away scenario, mixed with also like people around you that like you may not talk to anymore. Like it's a very personal song to James, and I commend him because the lyrics are fantastic.
Yeah, and that's what kind of drew me in. I mean, especially in that chorus, it's like you wind up singing it to yourself, and then you know, usually with me, it's always like, you know, how does it sound? You know, is it catchy? All that kind of stuff. And then I'm like, okay, if I really love it, then I'll go back and I'll dissect like the lyrics, and like, okay, is this something that's like about me? And if I can relate to it, it makes it, you know, take it to another level. You know, and a lot of your songs are are very relatable, at least to me. So it's probably one of the reasons why I love, you know, this one and Cheers as well. I was listening to that not too long ago. I really love the deep lyrics. I think it's a really dark kind of a song. Let's talk about that one. I mean, am I wrong? But it sounds like it's one of the deepest songs. If lyrically, if you really listen to it, am I wrong? Or you know, if you could explain a little bit about that song.
Before we get into that, can I just rewind for like a couple seconds? Let
me press the rewind button. Yeah,
I want to give James so much props for using can I swear on here?
Yeah.
I've been
using the fucking word soliloquy in a chorus of a song.
Yeah.
It's a ballsy move, and it worked. That's I can't even pronounce. I don't even want to like say that word. Screw it up. But yeah, I mean, it is a unique word to put into a chorus, but it does work, right? You know, it does. So yeah, but Cheers. Yes, that's a much. The instrumental, very kind of, I mean, even the instrumental is a little darker, but it's a bit more on the upbeat side. But yes, I don't even want to call it a dark song, but it's a very like trauma filled song.
Heavy. Yeah.
Yes. very heavy. Yeah, that's a very good way to put it.
Yeah.
Kind of just like a song that came out of, again, James for the most part is the idea guy when it comes to a lot of the lyrics. Vince, I'm not discrediting you at all. He also comes to the table with a lot of lyrics, but like,
oh, you did it.
Oh my God. If one of us comes to the table with lyrics, the rest of us will kind of like fill in the gaps of like how we can make the song better. And this song was definitely, or Cheers was definitely a culmination of like, hey man, everything sucks, but you know what? It can only go up from here.
Piled up from years of joking on my own words, but I just can't let them out. It's been a long time coming. I've had this feeling for a while now. Need a way to stay alive. I've been in love with the battle. Feels like my only way to settle now. Need a way to stay alive. Cheers to a better time. It's a dumb joke. I was gonna say it's a classic hot rod. Just hi, I'm Vince and I like to party. It's just
Exactly.
I mean to a lighter side of it, but it's just kind of, hey, everything sucks. Cheers, let's move on, kind of stuff.
Yeah, and there was one line in it about the bottle, but I'm like, oh crap, that's kind of drowning. Just let's just do it and let's just drink and have a good time and all that kind of stuff. It's definitely cool. And Left Behind, I love this song, and I have this thing to where I don't know if it's going to make sense to anybody really, but I have in my head a road trip song.
Thank fucking God.
Huh?
I said thank fucking God, because okay, so Left Behind is one that like I think more specifically Vince and I can talk on because we were the primary writers on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh really? And
Yep.
That road trip idea was in my head the entire time while we were writing it.
Was it really?
Oh man, I got goosebumps, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, the like a windows down kind of road trip song.
Yeah, you just put it on. You're not thinking about too much, but it provides like a soundtrack. Like every time I take a trip up to Atlanta or whatever, I have my road trip songs to where it's like I could just zone out and just like I don't know. It's just the Be Quiet and Drive by Deftones is one of those. It's just you have those just I don't know. It's just weird, and I'm glad that you can relate to that, CJ and Vince, because it just proves the fact that I'm not crazy. But that song Left Behind is definitely one of those songs.
All these days I've been put through the ringer. And all this time I never meant to be a stranger. Numb to the feeling of feeling alright. Exercise the girls from the corners of my room.
That one probably holds the most special place in my heart. I remember vividly we were recording that in Crown Point, Indiana, with one of the guys that we record with, Seth Henderson. And when we were listening through to like the final mixes of like everything coming together, that was like my moment of like sitting in the chair in the corner, realizing like the song that I put my heart into that like came from my bedroom, like being like fully developed and everything. Like I cried a bit. No shame.
Yeah. I mean, it's your baby, right? Like it's one of those things where you see it coming to fruition, and it's got to be a great feeling to finally to get it out there and get all your ideas out on on wax, as they say. But yeah, it's total. It's just. And I love the music videos that you guys have been doing too. Do you have a certain company that does it? Do you have a buddy that does it? Who helps you out in doing all these music videos? Because you guys have a decent amount of music videos. Do you guys use the same person, or how does that usually work with you guys?
used like a fair bit of people. We've kind of more solidified it down to like our core like team of like who we call on to know to like produce like a fantastic music video. So like Left Behind, Well Enough, and two more that aren't released. Yeah. We worked with this guy Arnley Senna, who has this company called Sleepwalker. Incredibly talented, longtime friend of ours. The music video for Cheers we did ourselves.
Yeah.
Really?
Just we set up some pretty lights in our drummer Jared's garage, and we had just kind of an idea of like a one-shot music video, and I gave the stabilizer and my iPhone to my wife, and she filmed it all.
She shot it all?
Yep.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, you can shoot it, but like lighting is such a like. I'm still trying to learn lighting with a stupid podcast. Like I wouldn't even know like the first thing to do as far as lighting a music video. So I don't know how that's incredible that you guys could do it yourself. That's awesome.
I mean, so both my wife and I, we went to art school. We went to art college. So I lived with a bunch of filmmakers, and I learned a thing or two to where I can not like take over a film set, but at least be kind of an asset if we're doing something to kind of like help everything go a little bit more smoothly, not to blow smoke up my own ass.
Yeah, no, I mean it's definitely legit, and it's awesome, and I love it when you just do it in the garage. It's really simple. You're getting to the point, you know what I mean? It's no like frills and all that kind of stuff. You're selling the song, and more than anything. But it is, you get that small town vibe, with it, which I love. Yeah, so it's a job well done, man. I mean, it's like I said, we were talking about that you do all the artwork for it. It's always nice to have somebody that's handy on that kind of stuff. If you need something with social media, or you need big music videos, all that kind of stuff. It's definitely I think for your resume, I guess should you say, but
it just makes it easier. Like,
yeah, totally.
Having at least like our quote unquote like creative department, like all of us being able to collaborate on like what we're putting out, and not having to like send revisions back and forth with like a person that like we don't know that close. It it makes us have one less thing to worry about, and then we all get on the same page a lot easier. Yeah,
no, absolutely. And where do you guys record like your songs? As far as I know you guys do demos at your place. As far as like doing the actual physical, or do you record your songs at all your
no
at your house? No,
no.
We definitely demo out and like do pre-pro stuff. But a lot of times we go to, well, at least these past few have been Jordan Beale. The Cheers and Left Behind. Those were done at that was ABG, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then Well Enough, and then my brain, at least Well Enough. I'm blanking on like half of it. Well Enough we definitely did with Jordan Beale.
Yeah,
and there we go.
Yep. we did 5 songs with Seth Henderson at ABG, which was Cheers, Left Behind, and then 3 more that are unreleased. And then with Jordan, we've done Well Enough, Hurts Like Hell, and 1 more that's unreleased. And then we did an acoustic version of a song with our good friend Andre, who plays in the band Sorakai.
Nice.
He's got a studio space not too far from us that we did our whole like acoustic rendition of our song Divided with him.
Oh, that's awesome. And you guys have a couple different people or places you can go to record and all that kind of stuff. So that makes it a little bit nicer and all that kind of stuff to be able to have, like, if the studio is booked or whatnot. Or
100%. And it makes it so much better that they're all 3 of those guys that we work with. Oh wait, no, we did Stay with John Terry.
Yep.
Okay.
And then did you say Studio Kai for the 3?
Oh yeah, we've worked with a bunch of different studios.
A lot of them are friends. I mean, my first band actually was with John Terry, the John Terry Sound. He does great work. And then my second band was with Les and these guys at Sorakai, as well as the owner Joe.
Studio Kai.
What did I say?
You said Sorakai.
God, I mix those fuckers up all the time. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of them are just really good friends. The first two, those two I mentioned, we're basically just playing with them and doing other stuff, and then the other few we just met through the music industry out of just like, oh yeah, I know that guy. Start talking, shoot the shit.
Yeah. When it comes to Andre, Seth, and Jordan, it makes it a lot easier workflow wise because they are all friends with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so really?
They've all been like sharing secrets and like kind of, at least from what I can tell, like building off each other. Obviously, they've got their own styles and stuff, but ultimately, what it comes down to with us is they all have extraordinarily good quality of the work that they do.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's nice to have three different people that have the same kind of idea, the mindset, going in and trusting somebody with your songs and making it sound good, right? And speaking of which, so let's go ahead and I guess now's the time to announce a little bit of a new song that's coming in. It's the 23rd of August. You guys want to take it over from here and let everybody know what's going on?
Vince, this one's your baby.
I'm scared. Oh yeah, we're gonna be dropping a new song. It's called Hindsight. What was the date for it again? It's August
23rd.
23rd. Thank you. This one's a little different from a lot of our other stuff. Has a lot more of that heavier side to it, but still has the fun pop punk aspect to it. But no, you hear a lot more of me in it than it's half basically with me and James. It's an exciting one.
No, it's awesome. I've heard it, and we're gonna play the music video here. A little clip of it, and so it's a Signal Chords exclusive. Play a little bit. It's the first actually exclusive that I've ever had on my podcast. So thank you guys for letting me take the reins on it. But yeah, it's a great music video. I've seen it all the way through. Obviously, I've heard the song. It's amazing. It is a little bit heavier.
It's different.
I love. Yeah, it's different. I love the dual vocals and all that kind of stuff. I can't wait for it to actually come out. That's how did that song come together, and who did that song out of all three of the guys who helped you record?
That was Seth. Yeah,
that was Seth. We spent 8 days recording 5 songs or so. So we were there for 5 days straight. We went home for the weekend just because we're a couple hours away, and then we went back for it was like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Can I tell a funny story about it?
Yeah, absolutely, please.
So this one, like I said, was like Vince's baby. James and I started it on instrumental and then like sent it to the group, and Vince just kind of took it and ran with it. And like we ran into like kind of a roadblock, and then it was like, I don't know, our 3rd day of being in Indiana recording, and like we had all just been like, we're tired. We were hanging out, eating, like making food, drinking and stuff. Because one of the cool things that Seth did was he lived down the street from his studio, and he had renovated his basement into like a private entry, like kind of like an Airbnb for bands to stay at. Yeah, so we had a key to go in. There was a shower, there's a small kitchen, all the beds and stuff. So we were staying there. And I remember, and Jared and I were going to go run to like Target or something to go get more things. And on our way out the door, we were like, James, Vince, we're recording the vocals for this song tomorrow. Can you guys like get to work on it? And they hit the freaking ground running. Because
No. I did.
No. Yeah.
James was so stuck, and we were listening to, it was Left Behind happened too. There was like a section that we couldn't get. I think it was like the end half or something. And I just remember we were listening to it, and it just Jimmy Neutron brain blast was like, play that again. And I just started just scribbling and like, okay, yep, no, I got that. Move to the next one. Move to Hindsight. We got to it, and I was like, oh nope, I'm nailing this one. I got this idea. It just kept going and going. And I don't know, you guys were gone for what, 10, 15, 20 minutes?
It was probably 20 minutes at most.
20 minutes. And they get back and I'm just like, we're good. Figured it out. Good night.
And then we played awesome. Mario Party.
Yeah, that's awesome. You could turn it around that quickly, and it's nice to come back and be like, all right, well, it's already done. So
right. I don't even know what happened. Something just came to my brain. I just had the thought of it, and I was like, no,
if I can say one thing about this band is we're pretty well under pressure.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing to have, right? I mean, you're going to be putting all these different instances or at shows or any of that kind of stuff. You always have to kind of, that's the best way I learned, because I'm like, if I have too much time to prepare, I'll procrastinate. I'll procrastinate for that last day, and then I'm like, boom, I'm like, I'm good, I'm golden. But like, if I have too much time, like I'll just put it off or just take little things here or there.
Yeah, like that's a future Brad's problem.
Yeah. Like I'll figure it out, but I'll spend like 8 hours at a time, concentrating on something or trying to learn something or whatever. But don't give me 2 weeks to do it. Like I'll do it all in one day, but I'll stay up for like 2 days and do it. Like that's my mentality on doing things. Even prepping for the show, I'm like, I've had 2 or 3 weeks to prep for the show, but I'm like, well, I'm on vacation this week, so I'm like, all right, well, I'll get to it. And then last night I'm like, just going back and forth when I had so much time to actually prepare. And
honestly, I don't think for everybody it's fitting for a Glory Days podcast. Go ahead.
Oh god damn it. I was just gonna say I think that was probably the best way for hindsight to come about.
Yeah.
Or like the best way for it to be solidified. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, Vince, we had the chorus done. Like
we had
far in advance.
We had the idea of it. It was more so like solidifying what the lyrics were. We had like placeholders essentially, but it was like, that's not hitting the way we want it to. I think you came up with the post chorus, right, or something like that. I don't know. So you came up with one line where it was just like, yep, that fits. That's perfect.
You and I that was our brainchild during practice for the chorus. And it was like, we don't know what the heck we're doing for verses or who's singing what.
Right.
Oh, I don't think even at that point it was really a quote unquote like medley song. It was more just we'll throw some of this and some of that, and it'll be Glory Days.
Yeah. So with all these like kind of singles and releases and all that kind of stuff, will there ever be like an EP or a full length? Or when you guys have aspirations to put out a full length, but a lot of bands don't, because they like just putting out singles with just having the the easiness of Spotify and releasing songs whenever you just want to. Because you guys aren't on a label right now, correct?
Correct. You're just fully independent.
Independent, yeah. They're just releasing it as you go. But is there any hopes or aspirations to get on a label and do some more things with the band?
It's been kind of a touchy subject within our little group, because like obviously we've been releasing our own songs and like it's been doing fine, but with the way that the music industry has changed so much, it's more so like, what can a label do for us that we can't do ourselves, like through the power of like social media and stuff? If anything, we've been more in talks of like, let's get a booking agent to help us like get the shows and get to the places where we haven't played before but we've always wanted to play.
Yeah. I mean, it seems to be that consensus with a lot of independent bands now, right? Because you don't necessarily need them, but if you want to, if you want to put out a 12-inch or put out CDs, all that kind of stuff, and having a label really works out that way when you want to put out a physical medium, because everything's coming out of your pocket if you do it yourself, right? So that's kind of where it's at. Where like it's cool at the same time, but it always fascinates me, kind of picking bands' brains, as far as wanting to release music and stuff. And I just interviewed Ford the River, and they're in the same boat as you are. They just like releasing music at their whim, and you guys got full-time jobs and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure if you're touring and the label's making you go on, here and there and here and there, and you've got these these day jobs that you have to attend to. I know sometimes that gets in the way, right?
I will say one, yes. Two, I think the biggest thing would be like building a team that will hold us accountable and kick ourselves in the ass.
Yeah.
For like timelines and like making sure we're on schedule to like release stuff instead of like releasing a song and then being like, we'll get to the next one when we get to it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's the biggest issue, but at the same end, it's like, we're fortunate enough. I mean, what have we done in the past few months? We haven't really done a lot. I mean, we've been prepping and doing other stuff, writing and whatnot, but we played a show about like a month ago. Going to be doing a tour soon. We've been pretty lucky with how our numbers stay and how many people still like us somehow, even though we barely release stuff. But I mean, overall, I like he was saying earlier, I don't see the point of a label if they're just gonna give us money for us to give back. We can do all this stuff on our own. I don't need a bank. Well, I do need a bank, but I don't need that kind of bank. All my money's in my mattress. Don't touch me.
I get it. I see you guys. I see you guys played. How do you pronounce it? Wakanda Fest.
Wakanda.
Wakanda.
Think like Black Panther from the Marvel universe,
but real.
Okay. All right. So that was like kind of a local show for you guys. Is it kind of a big show where it has a lot of different bands playing, and how it? I guess explain what kind of fest it is.
So Wakanda is the town that James, Jared, myself, and James, Jared, myself grew up in.
Okay.
And it was kind of just like a local like fest carnival thing that like we had all minus Vince, sorry. Collectively like gone to since we were kids. And it's always because this was our third time playing, right, Vince?
Mm-hmm. That sounds right.
Third time playing. Your fourth time.
Oh yeah.
Is it? Yeah, you played with a different band, probably.
Yeah, John Terry. He had another band called 3 Go that I was filling in. I don't know what I was to them. I was helping them out, and I was like, hell yeah, I'll play a show anytime they needed me. So. Fill in. We'll fill with that.
It's always funny when we play because like any small town festival, it's mostly cover bands. Yeah. And then you'll have us playing like a midday slot, like mostly original songs, but like we'll throw in some fun covers just to like bring in more of the crowd or like keep a crowd interested.
What's your go-to cover to get everybody to come and check you guys out?
Ooh, we've been
I would say, yeah, we're on the same page here.
I think so. Go for it.
We've been doing this thing. So we have the song "Cross the Line," which flows really well with the same key to the Who, Bob O'Reilly, right?
Yeah.
But we do like the intro, out here in the street. Do it for a little bit, and then it's like couple of measures or something like that.
Sure.
Or phrases, I should say. And then we overlap I Want to Dance with Somebody.
Oh, really?
By Whitney Houston?
By Whitney Houston. I sing the Whitney Houston. James does the Who. And after a few of those, we basically just overlap each other and sing throughout just for like a bit, and then we end it. But that seems to bring a lot of people in.
Dude, that's awesome. I had one of my buddies I was telling you about earlier that played the Warped Tour. He had a band called Team Awesome, and he would do he would play like weddings and all this kind of stuff, but he would mash up everything, like every song. So every song was like a mashup of different songs. It's like 4 or 5 songs in every song, and he would do like like 8 or 9 of those songs and mash it up. And I always love it when bands do that. Like you go off on a tangent on like some song, and going back into the original. That's really cool. That's awesome that you guys do that.
That one has been it's gotten the best reception, but I mean we like to throw weird covers in. Like we'll cater to the crowd that like comes to see us because we know the music that they'll like. So we'll do like the Fall Out Boy covers, we'll do the Yellowcard covers. But then like this last show we did a cover of Believe by Cher.
Hell yeah.
Like a pop punk, like punk alternative version, but
yeah. We've done Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
That's a good one.
We've done like She Will Be Loved by Maroon 5. Like we try and do some like deeper cuts of bands that no one would expect us to cover.
Yeah. No, but that's what makes it interesting, right? Because it's like it's shocking. Like there's these 5 guys singing "Believe." Like what the hell is going on?
Vince, what was the Boston song that we did?
More Than a Feeling.
Oh,
was it More Than a Feeling? Okay. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah!
Because you're either going to be that or Peace of Mind, I think.
Yeah, it was definitely. I would have loved Peace of Mind, but it was definitely More Than a Feeling.
We did that. We played an outdoor show, and it was like it had to be like 95 degrees with like 100% humidity and no breeze.
Oh,
James called the freaking ambulance on himself afterwards because he was wearing like a wool knit long sleeve shirt for the show, and like he gave himself heat stroke. I took my shirt off during that show.
Heat exhaustion.
Jesus.
Sorry, heat exhaustion, not heat stroke. But like usually, like if we're playing a show and a bunch of friends and family are there, people will be like bringing us drinks to the stage. This time they were bringing us just like pitchers of water, being like, right? Take care of yourself.
And then you get a couple of our buddies like, oh, here's shots of Malort.
Right.
That's our luck.
Brad, did you have Malort when you were in Chicago?
No, not that I know of.
Dude,
I've had a lot of things there. Yeah, no. What is it? What is it? A wine? What is it?
It's garbage.
It's
garbage.
It's a liqueur that tastes like bug spray and nightmares.
Oh, yeah.
With a hint of grapefruit.
A hint of grapefruit.
It's like it was shipped next to grapefruits.
Oh shit! If it's sugary, I probably
it's not. It's bitter.
Oh, it's not. Okay, then.
So next time you're in this area, give us a call. We're going to come hang out with you. We're going to take you to some cool spots, and we're going to make you have a bad experience.
Yeah, we're going to ruin your night.
Oh, I can't wait, man. Hell yeah. I'll be up there in no time, man. I love Chicago. You know, and I love experimenting. But
you won't after that.
Yeah. You're going to scrub this episode from the internet.
No, I can't do tequila. It's the only thing I can't do.
It doesn't taste like tequila, I'll tell you that much.
No, okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna look it up here after we get off and find out. Yeah, find out what it is, and I'll text you and let you know if I have any plans on drinking it or not.
Oh, you never have a plan to drink it. It just happens.
It just happens.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah,
I have many of those drinks. And I'm going on vacation next week to the beach, so all my experimenting will start happening again next week. So we're looking forward.
Buckle the fuck up, because we're gonna treat you.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it. CJ, Vince, thank you so much for joining the podcast. Great talking to you guys. I look forward to hearing the new song Hindsight. Well, actually, I have heard it, but I'm anxiously awaiting for you guys to release it. I can't wait to hear the remix version of your current single. It's just I wish you guys nothing but luck and success, man. I'm a huge fan of your band, and I really appreciate you willing to take the time and talk to me. And hopefully we'll get you guys back on here sooner than later.
Yeah, man, you've been so good to us over the past years. I mean, I know we connected on TikTok, and ever since then, it's just been mutual love. So I can't express my gratitude for you enough.
Honestly, yeah, man, thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate it, and I love supporting great bands and great artists, and you guys are a bunch of great dudes too. So it makes it even better when I can help out and get to know you a little bit. And like I said, if I'm ever up in Chicago, I'll look you guys up and I'll holler at you and let you know I'm in town, and we'll do some Marlot and what's it called again? Marlot.
Malort.
Malort.
You got like the R and the no. It's not a wine. It is nowhere near a wine. It's just
less of a wine. Less of a wine. More like the sound of when you throw up, like Malort.
Oh, I can't wait. CJ, Vince, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks for taking time. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Love
All right, see you.